This is Team North America, and this trimester we read Beloved by Toni Morrison, The Lone Ranger and Tonto, Fist Fight in Heaven by Sherman Alexie, and If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. First question that we're going to talk about is what made Seth kill her baby?
I'd say it was mainly that she would rather have her kids die than be enslaved. A lot of the white people that were coming, that would save them a lot of pain.
Yeah, I think the experience was basically like so painful for her that she just couldn't. She thought that her babies being dead would be better for them than going to Sweet Home.
It's still a little extreme. The scene in the book was really intense. Like, she didn't seem to have any remorse at all. She was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Her experiences drove her to insanity in a way, and so doing that was the only way her her insane mind could cope, I guess, could deal with it, and this is how she tried to save her children by killing a child and almost killed the others, but luckily people came in time.
So, what elements of culture are still existent in the reservation? Why do you think they stayed? Well, I guess the powwows stayed in their culture. I mean, they like to have fun.
Yeah.
Most of the book was about how the culture didn't stay, how it's gone, how they're missing who they are, missing what they are, missing their culture, how it completes them. So the elements that they've kept, I mean, it depends on the character. Like, Thomas Builds the Fire was very in tune with his spiritual past, but the thing is that when he was talking, what his life was rejected by other people because he wasn't really able to convey it in a manner that was real with everybody else.
Yeah, a lot of the elements of culture didn't stay at all. They talked most about white people taking away their culture and replacing it with their own. So there wasn't many true elements of the Indian culture that stayed with the tribe, mostly just powwows and, I guess, stories. So it was more, I guess, legend to them than real.
I do kind of think even though the white people kind of destroyed their culture, I also kind of think it sort of brought them all together because their like hate for the white people kind of gave them all something in common, and even though there was a lot of violence in their culture, they all still walked around calling each other cousin, even if they didn't know each other, and they still had kind of like we're all together in this, I guess, type of thing.
Yeah, that's true. Like, when they left the door open for the kid that played basketball, he got drunk and needed a place to stay overnight. So I guess they just treat everyone like family, which is something white people don't do and would never consider doing, which I guess you could say is a part of their culture. It's everyone's family.
Because they have so little family left.
Yeah.
Because white people have driven them to such extreme places of seclusion from their own culture, from their past, and from other people.
And also from the white people taking their culture, it all seems like that they can not really justify, but they can all understand why other people in their tribe are doing things, and they can, they don't get mad at each other, they just understand that's how they're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like with the drinking and druggies.
Yeah, that's a big part of their culture too. Like, it might be an accident, but alcohol and drugs became a big part of their culture. Like, in the very beginning, when Victor's parents were drinking and swearing around him when he was, how old was he, 9 then?
I think so.
Yeah, it really impacted his life because he grew up and then he started drinking too, and then got into drugs. So I guess as an accident, it ended up being a part of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the white people infected them, because that was mainly their thing. It was mainly the white people who's like alcohol and things of that nature. They brought it to them, and it corrupted them because the white people left them with nothing. Our third question is, what specifically did you notice about culture from the 3 novels you read?
I noticed, in my opinion, that a lot of books were mostly about how the culture was gone or taken over. In all of them, since we're North America, we had a lot of books based on white people being racist against other cultures. So most of it was about those cultures trying to find a way to survive in the world, and that world didn't really accept them as who they were. So I guess most of it was just how that culture had vanished.
Since a lot of our history has just been a lot of racism and bias and just a lot of segregation, and a lot of white people in the past have had a sort of superiority complex that has given them the right in their own mind to be better than everybody, to supposedly be better, and that everybody else doesn't have to live at the same standards as them. And the 3 books we've read have really proved that. And I mean, The Lone Ranger and Tonto, the author Sherman Alexie, did grow up on an Indian reservation, so it's part autobiography, and Toni Morrison is black, but she still had to research her past and put that into it, even though a lot of it was fictional. It was very fictional and even a little bit fantasy at points, but it was still came from very true, very real origins. And then if Beale Street Could Talk, it's more modern. It's more about how, even though slavery is abolished, there's still racism, there's still things being done that aren't right, that the superiority complex is still there, even if we don't like to admit it.
But I also kind of noticed, at least in Beloved and If Beale Street Could Talk, the culture was kind of like what was holding everything together, because I don't know, in both of them it seemed kind of like pride was a big thing, I guess. Like, when they had troubles and when they had tough times, I guess, they always just had to kind of like pick themselves back up, and I think that was a big part of their culture. So I guess the culture in both of those books was kind of keeping everything from falling apart, too, even though it was sort of getting destroyed.
Yeah, I think the main part of it, of culture in all of the books was you have to do things for yourself, because usually not even your family helps you. Like in Lone Ranger, Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven, it's all about you rely on yourself. And because in all of these 3 books, the white people came and just basically ruined everything around them. The only thing that they have, like, that they can rely on is themselves.
In my opinion, it's just a big lesson, not lesson, but a big metaphor of Paradise Lost in some ways. But the white people thought that it was their paradise to make these people lose their own. They didn't respect their own paradise. And these people have left what they really wanted, what they really needed, and all they're left with is a place that isn't what it isn't a good thing. It isn't their paradise.
books, they still have their family and everything to lean on, and that's a really big part of the books, I think, especially in Beale Street You Talk when they were trying to get Bonnie out of jail and they really had no way to get him out of jail because the police and all the white people were working against them. They just automatically wanted to prosecute Bonnie. So they just had to lean on each other and do their best, and it was really great how they stuck together through all their troubles. And I think that white people have a big lesson to learn from all these other cultures that they've tried to destroy.
Thank you everybody for watching our video about our books, and we really liked this class and we really enjoyed it, and we liked the books that we read here, and we feel like we learned a lot. Thanks so much. We hope that everybody else can have as good an experience as we did.